You introducing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Matters of the Heart, featuring me, my lovely wife. And yes, I was in my DJ mode, trying to hear the room with my one ear up and the music. And welcome to the fourth episode of Matters of the
Fourth.
Heart. Four. Yeah, we've done four incredible episodes. And tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about communication and the communication in terms of how it comes all the way back to the signs of love.
Yeah, like love. You're talking about love languages, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So, for those who coming in and you're just like, what is going on over here? This is our podcast where we're talking about relationship things and more. If you want to, you can subscribe to our channel, which is Matters of the Hearts podcast on YouTube. Right there. Somewhere down at the bottom right there. Yeah, right down there. So look us up on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and then the bell notification.
And if you're here, let us know you're here. Say hello. You know, trying to see what's up.
Chime in if you want.
All right. So
Here we go.
Thanks, Ty. So all right. Speaking of communication, I will have to say, I don't know if you, I'm pretty sure I didn't tell you this because, yeah, no, man, I don't know. Anywho, so when I was in the process of about to get married to you, Tyrone, I think I opted out of doing the bridal shower. I didn't, it's like,
What?
yeah, I didn't.
Why would you do that?
I didn't feel like putting together money.
That's
I
like
didn't.
your last hurrah as a single woman.
That's a bachelorette party. I had that really early on, but
But I thought
the
you had a
bridal,
bridal part.
the bridal shower. Can I tell the story? Anywho, the bridal shower. I didn't plan to have one. It was just yet something else to spend money on. I was just trying to get it over with getting everything planned for the wedding. But apparently my church decided to throw me one on the surprise tip.
Okay. That's why I remember something went down.
Yes, and that is absolutely true. Something went down. So, one of the best things that happened there outside of some good food and some good laughs, every woman in there gave me some advice, from I like to refer to them as the elders. They were older than me, so I have the opportunity to learn from them. And every single note, every single little bit of advice that was given started off with the word communication. There was one that just said communicate, communicate, communicate. Everyone
Wow.
said to communicate. And as we've gone further in marriage, I've come to realize why it is so important to communicate. The way that I've been looking at it is that, yes, we are in a marriage, but we are two separate human beings that have two different upbringings, two different ways to communicate, two different ways of looking at things. We're just two separate people. And the people that we were when we got married is certainly not who we are now. So that's one of the first reasons why you need to communicate, because we are individually growing as people. So as our opinions move forward, as different experiences shape our lives, as we just continue to grow separately as human beings, we have to start the process of explaining and sharing the way that we feel about things, sharing, I don't know what's going on with my body right now, but something's different. I'll let you know when I figure that out. Or conversations about, especially about coming together about money, and conversations about, well, I feel like the spirit is doing this, just different things,
Ooh.
and staying in conversation and communication about those things help you to not have to get to a space where you don't know who you're with anymore, because the last good
Uh-huh.
conversations we had was before we got married. Now all of a sudden, I don't know who this person is. I don't know the way that you're moving. Like you,
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
mm,
Um, that is a lot to unpack there, and I can't wait to explore that with you tonight. In addition to, um, the language of love, and the intentions that
mm,
we put behind our words, behind the things that we do. Um, that's something that I wish to kind of tap dance on a little bit of tonight, because it's a layered thing. In my opinion, the language of love has many different layers.
yeah,
Um, Starting with the basics of flirting.
hmm. That's something that ever needs to stop.
And a lot of people tend to stop flirting once they get into the actual relationship, unless it is used as a tool to provoke the environment of the relationship into intercourse.
Hmm.
That's the only time I hear people talk about flirting with their significant other.
Well, I also like the flirting, not just to have hot relations, but to just let your partner know that I see you. Let your partner know that you still look good. I still like all of that you have going on over there. So I think it's very much so important to stay flirtatious. This one of the many things that got y'all together in the first place.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Right now, communication
So
101.
what words did you have for what I said earlier about communication, the importance of it, how it is such a major thing in any relationship? I don't care who you're married to, who you're in relationship with, who your boyfriend, girlfriend with. Communication is key. I know it's much easier when you're first getting, to know each other, because all you want to do is find out more and more about who you're interested in. But after that fact, you still need to be in constant communication about, where are you going now? Because I promise you, at the age of 30, I'm not the same person I was back then that I am now. It's a totally different person. And
Yeah,
if I never
yeah,
kept
yeah.
Tyrone abreast of every change that was going on within me, he'd be very confused, or he'd just be out of the equation.
I think in terms of the basics of what people need to have in their relationship, as far as communication goes, uh, it should be one of the pieces of their cornerstone that their relationship is built off of.
Absolutely.
If you're not talking about your finances, if you're not talking about your religious preferences, if you're not talking about whether you want to have kids, you're not talking to live or anything like that, then I'm wondering, what are you talking about?
I certainly can agree, especially when it comes to the future. That's the biggest thing. When it comes to the future, do you what kind of living arrangements would you want to have? And once again, money is very important. How do you want to have your money? At first, we started off,
Separate
separate
accounts.
accounts.
Many people decide eventually that they need their money to be together because,
just like we do, because
it's a bigger pot to
and
take care of the electric bill, the rent, car
everything,
notes, credit cards.
instead of us having to come together and be
grocery,
like,
your half
oh, child,
on this lunch today
that's not living.
is $10
No,
and 37 cents. I need
can't.
you to give me
I can't.
that in order for this
No.
lunch to work.
Now, see,
I mean, you might as well Dutch treat if you're doing that. Hey, cut these checks separate,
or you pay for this,
not together.
Not saying that it's wrong for any relationship to do it that way, but we've come to realize it's better that our money, our checks go to the same pot. And to keep it all the way real, I know that I am not the money gal. I know how to spend money very well. Okay.
It's always somebody that is the baller.
Or no, the bean counter.
There's the spender and there's the counter.
The one that's going to keep up with it. And Tyrone is certainly that. And you know what? I may be a little controversial right now, but I will say that I don't care if he has these other savings accounts and all this other stuff, because he's doing because I trust that he's doing what needs to be done with the money as far as saving and investing the money, because I don't have that knowledge.
Yeah.
He's bringing me to some of the knowledge of it, but all I know is that when I see the money, I'm going to want to spend it. That's just what I know about myself. So I'd rather him hide some things away so that we can have money to pay our bills. I'd rather it that way, out of sight, out of mind. So
okay, let's go and let's focus on the money aspect of things.
In communication,
coming together in a relationship, you have your bills and your other person has their bills. And somewhere in the middle, y'all meet with your happiness. A lot of the issues in a relationship that bring in frustration, in my opinion, has to do with the lack of funds available to do what you came together to do. And if you want to come together and go to a Chappelle show, and money is looking funny on one side or the other side, everybody then gets in this space of blaming the other and then not holding the other person accountable. Absolutely. Or owning up to the shortfall, because no one spoke about what each other is doing.
You're correct.
And therefore, they're having a lack of communication about, hey, I'm missing a couple hours this week on my check because I had to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
So we're going to be short on this bill and that bill. Or, in a single member relationship, hey, I know we said we were going out this weekend. I want to still go out with you, but what we originally planned is not going to work because my money is a little funny. How about you? And it's at that point where there has to be some compromise, as people would say,
Yeah.
and understanding that is issued back and forth between the two.
I
Otherwise,
agree.
somebody is only going to be the taker, and there's no giving
And
on both
that's not
sides.
cool though.
And that's not cool. Where y'all both working hard and y'all working to build a relationship, but you're withholding
Hmm.
your portion in order to totally absorb and receive from the other.
And it is through communication that you guys can come on the same, get to us the same page. One thing I can say about Tyrone, when we were dating, it was just off and on with, who had a job, who didn't have a job, how much you're getting paid, and all that good stuff. And we were in a long distance relationship. I was in Columbia, South Carolina. Tyrone's was in Washington, D.C.
baby.
So one thing he showed me was that whenever he did have the money, I was good. Because, Lord, I don't even know if my mama knows this, but I paid for a cruise for him because he wasn't. Were you working?
I had just started working.
Yes, you just started working at that company in that place overnight.
Working overnight in a place, which was pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
The pay was okay because we got paid every week,
so it worked out. But I paid for things and he paid for things, and like I said, I found out that when he had it, I know that I was good if I didn't have it. So it was those kind of conversations, those kind of realizations, and showing that made me more comfortable with that, with money. Now, another space that conversation is very much so needed is just the to connect, not just the friendship, but the more than, the friends. You know what I'm saying? Because as we all go through life, we all go through different things, and a lot of times those things affect us emotionally. So if I know that I'm going through something, whether I know exactly what it is that's bothering me or not, I am comfortable enough to tell my friend, my husband, that I know I'm in a crazy space right now. I feel bad and it's because of this, or I don't know what's going on with me. But the the reason why it needs to be said is so that he knows how to navigate me. He knows that when he comes in from work, not to be, hey Jen, all over me.
House on you like
Because
a kitty.
I'm not in that space. I'm trying to figure something out. And on the other end of that, I don't want him to feel crazy for trying to show me some love and I'm cold. So communication in rough times, or even when we had our financially rough times, we were vulnerable enough with each other to say that I'm scared, that I just don't know where it's coming from. And I thank God that we were in those spaces in two different times. So whenever one had a little bit of faith, the other, that person with a little bit of faith, was able to raise up the one that was a little lost or didn't see the possibilities of coming out on the other end. There were times where we'd be in prayer and I just, yell out, "We choose you, Lord. We both scared, Jesus, but we just going to choose you." And as we continued to choose him, our finances got better and better. The best advice was coming to us, the best ways to deal with it, or finagle money. Y'all know how y'all do with bills, the bills.
Yes.
The best ways to do that came to us through him, through Spirit. And also the greatest advice was coming through the churches and the different things we were watching on, social media. So it's through the conversation we were able to build each other up in our times of vulnerability. And those conversations are more than needed. Because if I can't share what's going on and what's hurting me to my husband, then who can I share it to? Who?
Yeah.
And
And that vulnerability is one of the areas that a lot of people are in conflict with, because at some point you don't want to look like the weak link in the relationship, especially for men. We don't want to share that we're at our lowest, we're not at our best when it comes to our women.
but you know what?
We want to show them that we have this great strength and we're in command and we're in control of the situation as a provider. But then, that's where we start to segue into the love language of things, because men express their love through providing. And
True.
when that is hurt a little bit
Or hindered.
From them reaching their goals, then it starts to affect how they love outwardly and internally, because they no longer love themselves in that situation. They feel like, I'm worthless, I'm not valuable. And when they don't hear it externally, they collapse inward on themselves and no longer show the outwardly love that you are desiring.
Understood. But I would like to encourage the men folk to let your wives know what's up. Because just like you guys like to be Superman, we love to be Wonder Woman. And in the house, everything is sacred inside of our house. So
it should be. It should be sacred.
Yeah, let's clarify that. It should be. But everything is sacred inside of this house. I can speak for that. And when there's issues going on, to be honest, today, Tyrone called me frustrated. But I understand and know that it was time for me to be a listening ear and let him get everything out the way that he wanted to say it, and then give some encouragement, then give a little bit of advice, and let him know, I'm here. And sometimes not everything's going to go your way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
To have somebody that automatically that is going to keep your venting session to themselves rather than going around telling their good girlfriends, they good homies,
your dirty laundry,
airing out your laundry, like that's a jewel. That's precious to be able to have this inner sanctum. That song Loyalty.
Yes. We on the same wavelength right
there. That
there.
song Loyalty with
Kendrick
Lamar and Rihanna. Yeah, it's a secret society right here. You know what I'm saying? It's the loyalty between this right here. And even after we got married, I have gained so much respect and love for this union. The union is not just that he's my husband. No, we're here to ride or die together.
Right. And that's the way it should be. And a lot of people enter relationships with this idea of they're there to gain and never put into the relationship. And when you have this attitude, I'm going to take and continue to take and take and take, when that person gets on empty, just like your car when it ends up on empty, you go nowhere.
Well,
and when you go nowhere, you get this attitude of, why you ain't fill it back up?
Why
You
aren't
know
you?
the gas tank empty. You need to fix it. Go fix it.
But
I can't fix it, baby. I'm on empty. Well,
eh,
I don't know what you need to do. You need to find something else to do, man. You better do something.
but see, that's why.
That attitude don't work.
But that's why we need to have our cups filled when we come to each other.
And that's why
Which
people
is,
get stuck when they come in.
but see, you can't treat marriage or any kind of relationship as something that's supposed to be fixing you all the time.
That too, man.
You need to come into it ready and open to reveal all of your true self to your partner. And if you're not ready to do that, I don't understand why you're getting into a long distance or deep relationship or marriage with anybody. Because if you're coming together with someone or someone's, whatever floats your boat,
Mhm.
you need to be in a space where you're ready to give everything of you, because every sliver of you that you keep away from yours is yet a sliver that's going to be taken away from your relationship.
Can I speak on that for a sec?
No. So
I'll be back.
everything you hold on to, it's going to come up either way in your marriage or relationship. Go ahead.
What does that mean to give of yourself? A lot of people don't even think about it when they get into a relationship. They're like, I'm here. And they believe that being accessible equates to giving to themselves, to the relationship.
Some people think that paying for everything and doing everything, making every meal, washing every bit of clothes, that's giving of themselves.
Mhm.
But all of that servitude, yes, it feels nice. All of it does. But when it comes down to just chilling really hard, being able to listen as well as being able to give of yourself. And when I say give of yourself, give of the things that you're truly feeling. Get away from the surface. Let's go deep into how we truly feel about each other. Being able to express our love and how we feel. Being able to express, I don't want you to go nowhere. And just once again, having those moments of vulnerability and really enjoying each other. That's, to me, is just really giving of yourself. Yes, it's real cute to, have the meals ready, the laundry, have all the bills paid. Yes, it is certainly all a love language. But after those bills are paid, who are you speaking to?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you saying you're in love with?
Mm-hmm.
Who is that person?
Now, as a person enters into the relationship for the first time in a long time, or the first time ever, or it's new to them.
Yeah.
How do you interpret how you feel about that person and that be labeled love?
How do you interpret the things that they're doing for you or saying, and say that's love that's going on over there?
Because I know a lot of people, like you were saying, oh, they cook for me, they wash my clothes, they come pick me up after work, they drop me off.
It's the unexpected. That's what makes me say that's love. It's the unexpected for me. Tyrone got me a huge bar of Mr. Goodbar. That's one of my favorite chocolates. So I really enjoyed that. And he surprised me. He had some Reese's Pieces in one hand, and he just, this is for you. And that was like, I
gotcha.
I think I actually yelled. I was like, oh my gosh! And it's that unexpected stuff like, dag nabbit, he loved me. And then what made it even worse, in my opinion, is just the fact that he said that he's been looking for that big Mr. Goodbar, and when he found it, he purchased it and bought it home. That's the kind of stuff that makes me want to see that that's the love. And also, we were at Medieval Times um a few weekends ago, and just me and Tyrone being together, acting silly, being loud, also trading food. I didn't want something, and so we traded something. I forget what it was, but we traded something.
Trade you my potato.
For something. What else? I didn't want my ice cream because it's all soft. Like, here you go, and you can have the rest of my chicken too. Like, that's like love to me. Being in a space and just understanding each other. That whole ESPN stuff. Okay, I know it's not ESPN. Stop it. That ESP stuff. Just really being on the same channel and brainwave with each other, because it's like that's the bond that we have formed. Now, just to keep it real with everybody, I know that not everybody's relationship is like that, and I wouldn't expect that to be, because we're all different people and we all have our own different experiences of what marriage is. But that's love to me. A long drive, that's love for me. Just seeing beautiful stuff together, traveling, that's a love language for me. And
I know a couple that smoking together is their love language. Them sitting down outside at a table,
smoking,
and just chilling, smoking, maybe a cocktail drink or so, and that embracing interaction
in that moment,
how they love each other.
Yeah.
Somebody else I've seen where the hug and cuddling.
Yeah.
That actual touching,
being up into each other,
being able to fill up on each other, kiss on each other. That's their love language. And what people outside of that tend to do is like, hey, that's good and all that y'all like that, but that ain't for me. And
that's okay.
Feel like that is not okay.
No, that's okay. We all got our own different ways to do it.
They're like, oh man, I can't do that PDA stuff, public display of affection. We're holding hands, walking down the street, in the mall, and they're like, no. And some people kind of hide under that.
Well,
that they may have some other intentions that is outside of that love language that they're presenting.
Some people use PDA to show, and I'm using air quotes here, that they are actually in a relationship, or their relationship is deeper than it really is. Like, yeah, that's all odd. But another little love language that I do like is the fact that we do communicate enough to where somebody said, well, did Tyrone tell you this? Or somebody try to come to me with something that I already know because we have conversed. That brings a smile to my face. Because it is still...
You're not getting past me, Satan.
It's still yet a secret society over here.
Yeah.
It's locked in.
It's based on what you guys set forth as your cornerstone. And what I mean by cornerstone, when you're building a house, your foundation is down. That's the dirt in the ground. There has to be this corner of the house that they start to build your bricks on. Otherwise, there's no starting point.
Absolutely.
And then this focal point where all the other bricks are built on
And it needs to be strong.
needs to be strong enough to withstand the weight
of a relationship
of the whole house, which is your relationship. Whatever you build that cornerstone on is what will make sure that the house does not fall.
And I hope that, in your relationships, you attempt or try to base it on your communication, your friendship.
I tell people like this all the time. If you basing your relationship off of sex, and then when the sex is no longer good to you, what do you have next?
And that's why when my father first met Tyrone for the first time, he said, your friends first.
You ain't got no friendship. What do you have next?
Your friends first. Your friends. That's
if
your
y'all
friend.
Can't crack a joke with each other and laugh together, what do you have next?
Exactly.
Nothing.
So
bunch of nothing.
That's why, he is my husband, but after the husband, he still is my bestie. We talk about everything. And I can't say that we're up on each other all the time. Right. It may seem like it because I like taking pictures with him and stuff because I like him around. But it's like
that's another thing that people misunderstood. Like, okay, when you're in a relationship, you got to be around that person 24/7. No, you were an individual first.
Say that.
And you have individual needs outside of the relationship that you're building.
Absolutely. Every time
if you like hanging out with your homeboys, your homegirls, going out and having a girls' night out or boys' night out, still continue that. Don't be doing that when you get into a relationship and you throw all of that away and then neglect all your friends and your community has been thrown away. And then when things go wrong with your relationship because it was built on something that was on shaky ground, now you're sitting up here like, I have no one to turn to. I'm all alone.
I think we found another building stone.
Your community and communication goes together.
Another building block. It is respecting who this individual is. So there have been parties and stuff Tyrone has gone to with his boys, and I've also done, things without him, with coworkers and stuff like that, and had fun. And he's one of the first. Well, I kind of feel like he's the first one to really just encourage that. Go on out, what I'm saying, have some fun, have fun, go on out that door. And there's like even times like throughout the week, I go to Walmart and do the weekly shopping by myself to have some time to just sit on the phone with my mother or just, be to myself, because believe it or not, I'm somewhat of a loner.
And that is okay.
But that's only in the house though. When I go out the door, yes, I like to communicate, I like to talk, I like to do all that. But in the house, man, I know how to be by myself real good. That's all I got to say.
Well, there's people out here that don't know that lifestyle of loving themselves to the point that they want to be by themselves.
And you know how to be. I know how to be myself so good. Let me tell you something. When
you can't be with yourself, nobody can be with you.
When we were in Jamaica for our friend Raymond's wedding, they were off doing like, I wasn't in the wedding party, so he was off doing wedding party things, and Jennifer was up in Jamaica in the resort, sleeping, getting beverages, getting room service, and enjoying myself because I know how to be by myself. Before he moved down south, I was going to the movies, restaurants, and all that stuff by myself because I know how to enjoy myself. Thank God for friends though, because it was kind of nice to be able to go out with friends and do other stuff. But that's to me, I feel like that's just another way to show that I know that I'm coming into the relationship with my cup full. Not saying I don't need Tyrone. Tyrone just adds to my life. I always say, when I married him, I didn't know that he would be everything that I thought that I needed. Excuse me, everything I didn't know I needed. And as we've gone farther and farther into marriage, it's 7 years, right?
8.
Oh Jesus.
We coming up on 9.
It's been 8 years. You see how he didn't choke me out because I wasn't all the way sure.
You dead to me.
Okay. But because he knows I don't readily do dates. I hardly remember my own birth date, or not I know the birth date, but my actual age, sometimes that eludes me. So
Once you're over 21, you kind of forget that anyway.
It's whatever. But anywho,
I can drink now.
but I come into the relationship whole, and we add to each other. So anyone coming into a relationship, make sure you got you. Make sure you know what you want. Make sure you know what you don't want, so that you can, spot things early. And, give of yourself, and make sure he or she gives back.
Absolutely.
Because this is a transaction. It's a back and forth. It's a conversation.
On top of that, leave the past in the past.
Speaking of conversation, yeah, in that conversation, maybe we don't need to know about everybody you slept with, or, not everything is
fellas,
needed.
Stop this mess of wanting to know the body count.
First of all, you ain't gonna get the real body count.
You ain't gonna get it.
Second of all,
take it from her. You're not gonna get it, and you're gonna miss your blessing.
That's for true.
If you like, I ain't messing with nobody that been with more than 5.
You gonna hurt your feelings.
And
get
you
your
in your
30s,
and
oh no,
you saying this in your 30s,
and you're looking for somebody that's
for somebody that has been lightly used, like pre-owned used, like 1 or 2 owners. You stupid.
Especially past the age of 30.
Past the age of 30, you might as well. That ain't even a standard to put out there. Now, a standard would be, all right, what is your longest relationship that you ever been
in? And that's actually a good one. The longest relationship and what broke up. And I think that's a solid one. No need to give deep, information about that. But one of the best things about that question is showing how you're looking back at that past relationship and seeing if you've learned anything from it that you will be able to take into the new one. I think that's a valid question. But as far as, just trying to figure out who all you slept with, I think that's really stupid, because how is that supposed to affect you and what's going on in his or her parts?
Right. It's not like you saying another good question to ask. Do you have any children?
That's a solid question.
How old are they?
That's a solid question.
Are you still involved with their ex, the mother of your children? Those are some significant, solid questions to ask if you're 30 or older.
Yeah, and anybody that's trying to hide any of these things, or is trying to, just live a life outside of their truth, that's yet another issue, because we don't want to come into these things with lies. But look,
communication. Tell the people what you got going on up front.
Absolutely.
That allows them to make the choice to whether continue or discontinue what is being built.
That's awesome. And that's like really a nice place to end right there. So I would like to encourage each and every person. Yes, we are doing Matters of the Heart here on the YouTubes, and I think we are on Tyrone's Facebook.
Hey y'all,
Thank
on
you
my
for.
Facebook. It won't be up here for long on my Facebook.
Oh wow!
I'm telling you right now.
So
subscribe.
Please subscribe to
Matters
our
of the Heart
podcast.
It's right there. It's right there.
Because if you just
On
type
your
in
screen.
Matters of the Heart, you are going to see a whole bunch of different videos for that. Just type in Matters of the Heart podcast. You'll be able to find us a lot faster. And let's see.
You'll see a couple of hearts and the S on there and our beautiful faces.
Anywho, if you guys have any questions, anything that you're curious about, any relationship situations, we would love to hear what you got to say. You can always go into the comments of this particular video, but if you'd rather stay anonymous, make sure you please state that when you send us an email at Faithful Warrior Ministries, and that's at gmail.com. So you can send us your questions, send us your concerns, accolades, whatever you like through that. And we do also have our P.O. box, just in case you want to send us a mail. I mean, do you?
We read letters.
I'll never knock it. The P.O. box is P.O. Box 723-545, Atlanta, Georgia, 31139. Tyrone, his Instagram is Mr. TD McCullum. You can follow him at his Instagram there. And my Instagram is at JStarBright. That's even my TikTok too, but it's not like I'm putting a whole lot of stuff up there. But I need to. I will start posting more often. And of course, if you want to find my Facebook, it's Jennifer Star McCullum. That's me. All right. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share?
Oh, yeah, they can text us.
Oh, yes. We also have
only text
a number you can text us with your questions as well, or anything you want to bring up with us, or maybe a subject for another podcast. That number is 706-452-3051. Please make sure you text, because if you try to call us, unfortunately you will not get an answer, because we got to be on the same page when we talk, right? So just let us know what's up, and we'll move forward from there. That's pretty much it. I really do appreciate you guys for joining us, whether you saw it live or on the rebroadcast. We really appreciate it. This is something that is certainly going to continue on. And do you think Wednesday is our day for this?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday. It looks like it's our day. If not
night.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday late night.
I like that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Y'all have a great week.
Bye-bye. Peace.